Okay, let's break down a practice SAT reading and writing question that asks us which finding would most directly support this claim. Again, these are very common types of questions on the SAT. A few things we want to make sure we do is one, identify the key parts of a given claim. We also want to make sure we match the correct answer choice to the entire claim, not just part of it, but the entire claim. We also want to practice eliminating incorrect answers or partially relevant or off-topic answers. And a lot of times we want to look for certain cause and effect relationships, or if there's a compare and contrast, but we're looking for some sort of theme in these types of questions. So when we look at this one, it tells us that a science teacher claims that planting marigolds alongside tomato plants reduces pest damage. Marigolds are known to produce certain compounds that repel insects, and gardeners often plant them near vegetables. The teacher believes this combination will lead to healthier tomato plants and bigger harvests. So again, let's go ahead and try to break down which answer choices are incorrect and then ultimately navigate to the correct answer. But here, again, the claim that is really being made here is that planting marigolds next to tomatoes results in fewer pests, which ultimately results in healthier plants and bigger harvests. So to support this, we need evidence to show reduced pest damage and better tomato growth when marigolds are planted nearby. So let's break down some of these answer choices. And first, when we look at B, it says marigolds have a bright yellow color that attracts beneficial pollinators. This might help tomatoes indirectly, but it doesn't mention pests or tomato yields. So this is just irrelevant to the claim that's being made here. C, tomato plants near marigolds grew at the same rate as tomato plants without marigolds. This doesn't show any difference, so it fails to also support the claim. And D is also incorrect because this is about marigold hardiness, not pest reduction or tomato harvest. So again, this one's off topic. So that's why A is the best answer choice, because it says tomato plants near marigolds have fewer insect holes and higher yields than tomato plants grown alone. So it mentions fewer insect holes, which shows pest reduction, which matches the first part of this claim, and higher yields, which shows that healthier plants with bigger harvest matches the second part of this claim, which means A directly supports this. Let's take a moment to dive into a practice reading and writing SAT practice question that asks us which finding would most directly support this claim. Again, in these types of questions, we can see these pretty often on the SAT. So we want to make sure that we're able to understand the claim itself, the core outcomes in the claim, and really identifying what it's looking for any comparisons or cause and effect or compare and contrast relationships here. We also want to eliminate any incorrect answers or things that are not partially true. So with that said, we're given this situation that says a sports coach claims that warming up before running reduces the risk of muscle injury. Warming up raises muscle temperature and increases blood flow, which may prepare the body for intense activity. The coach argues that skipping warm-ups can lead to more strains and pulled muscles. So again, which finding would most directly support this claim? So when we look at this one, first, just trying to identify what the claim is, and restating that would mean that this claim is really saying that warming up before running can lower the risk of muscle injury. So to support this, we need evidence to show that fewer injuries in people who warm up compared to those who don't. So again, always like to eliminate incorrect answer choices, or if there's anything wrong with an answer choice, the whole answer is incorrect. So looking at B, warming up increased runner's heart rate before the race. Heart rate increase may happen during warm-up, but it doesn't prove injury prevention. So it's related to a physical effect, but not the injury outcome. So B is incorrect because of this. C, stretching after running helps improve flexibility. Again, this is about post-run stretching, not pre-run warm-ups or injury prevention. So it's a little bit off topic for this claim. And then D is also incorrect because it's also not relevant to the claim. So ultimately, A, runners who warmed up had fewer muscle strains than those who did not warm up is the correct answer, because fewer muscle strains is direct evidence of reduced injury risk. And then the comparison between warm up versus no warm up is, it directly tests this claim. So A fully supports the coach's argument in this claim. It's time for another practice SAT reading and writing question that asks us which finding would most directly support this claim. So this, again, is a common type of question that you can encounter on the SAT test. So again, with any SAT passage, it's really important that you read the whole thing at least once. If you need to, twice is fine. Really want to make sure that we understand what the claim is trying to tell us, or what is being said here. So again, when we read this one, it tells us some health enthusiasts claim that soaking almonds in water overnight makes them easier to chew and improves nutrient absorption. Almonds naturally contain phytic acid, a compound that can bind to minerals and reduce the body's ability to absorb them. Advocates believe soaking helps break down phytic acid while softening the almond's texture. So again, a few things. We want to do a blend of anticipating the correct answer choice here, also eliminating incorrect answer choices, paying attention to context and tone, and what claim is being made. So when we look at this one, the claim here is that soaking almonds overnight makes them, 1, easier to chew or having a softer texture, and 2, improving nutrient absorption because phytic acid blocks minerals and soaking supposedly breaks it down. So some things that we want to consider is identifying what the claim requires. So to support this claim, the evidence must also show two things: that soaked almonds are softer than unsoaked almonds or easier to chew, and that soaked almonds have less phytic acid, which improves nutrient absorption because less phytic acid means fewer minerals blocked. So with that said, when we look at the different answer choices here, just eliminating them. Let's start with B. Soaked almonds were softer, but had more phytic acid than unsoaked almonds. So softer, yes, that supports easier chewing, but more phytic acid, this contradicts this. So this would automatically make B an incorrect answer choice, because if any part of an answer is incorrect, it means the whole answer choice is incorrect. So we could eliminate B as well because of this. For C, it's saying that basically calories are unrelated to texture or phytic acid. So this doesn't really address either part of this claim. So C is just irrelevant. We can remove this, kind of like a distracting answer. D, what's incorrect about this is that it doesn't address phytic acid or nutrient absorption. So it only partially supports the claim. So again, it's not the best answer choice here. While A is our best answer choice, and it is the correct answer because it directly supports both parts of the claim. It mentions being softer and easier to chew and less phytic acid, which is better for nutrient absorption, which is, again, why A directly supports this claim in the past.